Anime for fall 2021. After a stellar start to the year, way back last winter, and a not too shabby spring season, we got a bit of a break over the last few months during the summer season. Thankfully, 2021 is the year that got a lot of initial holdovers from 2020 all at once, which, has its pluses and its minuses. Plus side, all this great anime. Downside, so much anime. I can appreciate the bit of a breather that the summer season granted us, even though it was at the cost of some good potential stories that I ended up not following. Maybe it was because of burnout, maybe the season was just slow in general, but in either case, the hope is that for this fall season, the final 3 months of the year, we end off on a high note. It's quite possible that the best anime for the year has already been released. It's called Yatta-Tachi, by the by. But of course, we've been surprised in previous years with superb anime that have come right at the end to blow us all away. Either that or it's just the recency bias that we all experience around awards time. So now, looking at the upcoming slate for this season, I can at least confidently say that if you remove the sequels, it's not jam-packed, and I'm okay with that. Last winter proved that too much can actually be a negative in some circumstances. So today, we at Glass Reflection wanted to go over some of the possible highlights for the fall season, or at least what I am initially interested in. Let's jam. Starting with some honorable mentions. JoJo Part 6. This is the JoJo part that I've been waiting for since always? Downside is that it's not coming out until December. I don't know why charts and listings have it set for fall when it might as well be winter by the time it actually starts airing, but whatever, more JoJo! A lot of what is notable thus far, what has been receiving a lot of traction in the lead up to this season, is a bunch of course, sequel content for people that enjoyed originals of seasons past. Mushoku Tensei is getting a second cour following its first batch of episodes at the start of this year. 86 is doing similarly, and big ups to the official second season of Demon Slayer. Not just a movie anymore, we're getting a full-on season. So thank you, Demon Slayer, that is going to make it so that any discussion we try to have in 3 months about best anime of the year can just be dominated by your presence. We love you. But to the actual new shows of this season. The big highlight for me is a show named Komi-san Can't Communicate. Why is this a highlight? Well, because I'm willing to bet that even if you haven't read the manga, you've probably seen it around. The original manga for Komi-san has been in circulation on a variety of image sites, not even anime-related image sites, for a number of years now. That's how I first found out about it, and the full manga itself has been apparently doing quite well on the Viz Media app. Much about Komi-san follows familiar tropes. The high school, the beautiful heroine with long hair, the somewhat bumbling male protagonist. But the norm in these situations is to have the lead female character either be like the smart one, or the student council president, or something along those lines. But no, here, as the title of the work indicates, Komi-san has trouble communicating. She can speak, but doesn't do so very much, and lacks many basic communication skills that lead into amusing and sometimes hilarious situations. The show is being produced by OLM, the studio who has famously spent most of their existence just pumping out Pokemon seasons year after year. But they are also responsible for current Anime of the Year contender Yatta-Tachi, so I expect good things. Komi-san is already in the running for Best of Season, even though it hasn't even aired yet based purely on its source material. But in the end, how it is adapted is far more important. Moving on. Platinum End. Full disclosure, I know oh so little about the source material on this one, but I know enough to say that it is popular, and there is a decent amount of fans of this series that are desperately hoping that it's going to be adapted well. Sorry to let those people know that the batting average ain't great for these types of shows, but who knows? It could surprise us. The plot looks to be taking a page from other anime I could mention, but I'm choosing not to in an attempt to hopefully allow this anime to speak for itself. It stars a depressed middle school graduate on the verge of committing suicide who is visited by an angel and granted the chance to become one of a number of individuals who will compete to become the next god of the world. Yay! A Battle Royale series! Think. It has been a bit since the last time Battle Royales have crossed my path, and I think I've slightly recovered from my burnout on this particular kind of narrative, but I'm still hoping that the series can surprise me and keep me invested. The original material has been around for a while, so a part of me does worry that it is going to be a bit of a rehash of a lot of what we've seen before. Whether or not the adaptation is able to build upon that, we don't know yet. I really do think how this show starts will be what hooks me. How it's going to be able to convince its protagonist on the verge of ending it all that, no, you don't want to end it all. You actually want to go on living. And also potentially kill other people instead. There are a lot of interesting places that the story could go, and of course a bunch of places that the adaptation could go if it chooses not to stick with the source. Only time will tell. Let's move on. Tacked Up Destiny. Probably screwed that one up. The synopsis for this one is hard to wrap my head around, because I've read a couple of different press releases on what the story is supposed to be, but most of them are different from one another, and they lean heavily into interpretive language, which doesn't do all that much to explain what's actually going to be happening in this series. What I can tell you is that it is a collaborative production between Studios Madhouse and MAPPA, a combo I did not expect, and honestly, that alone is enough to sell me, at least on watching the first few episodes, just to see what these mad lads come up with. As the title implies, the series seems to be focusing not just a lot on music and musical composition, but somehow using that in battle against some kind of alien force which has come to dominate the planet. Very heavy Macross and Symphogear vibes coming off of it, of all things. Hashtag watch Symphogear. If nothing else, the trailers do look fantastic, and I hope that that's a good bellwether for the rest of the series, though it is entirely possible, based on the times even in this year that we've seen it before, what's in the trailer is all that's there, and with, you know, the current state of the industry, the rest of the show's animation might just be heavily lackluster by comparison. Who knows? I think, however, what will make or break the show is actually going to be its music. Being so focused around that particular art form, how the show presents its musical score will be very important. But this very specifically needs to be an aspect of the show that can't fail, and that puts a lot of pressure on many things. The opening is being handled by Supercell, which does lead me to some hope, but at the same time, I also worry that it might just outshine the regular soundtrack, as Supercell is wont to do on occasion. I'm probably being overly pessimistic, but hey, that's my nature. I want this show to impress me, and I've been burned before. Let's hope that doesn't happen here. Banished from the heroes party, I decided to leave and live a quiet life in the countryside, because my god, we have to keep giving some credence to light novel shows that keep trying to break the record on how long their titles can actually be. The English translation is actually shorter than the Japanese, so at least it's not winning in that race. This one, I fully admit, I'm just listing for my own personal curiosity. This past season, we had Slow Life of a Cheat Pharmacist, about a guy who got isekai and decided to open a drugstore with a cute wolf girl and a ghost. It's an extremely light show that I ended up not keeping up with because there was just so little to the series itself. It felt like an anime version of like a ball of cotton candy. If you didn't hold on to it, it would just float away or just dissolve into nothingness. This new series has a very similar description, though it leans far more heavily into like rom-com territory, with a relationship already established between our banished hero and a young princess. Really, my expectations are low for this series. Actually, scratch that. There are no expectations for this series, which will make it all the more depressing if it doesn't even end up being able to handle that. But you know, we're just gonna wait and see. Speaking of my own personal tastes, though, and my own personal preferences, as a Canadian, I am patriotically obligated to continue with our next show, Pride of Orange. The show has nothing to do with Canada as a country, however, since it is an anime about hockey, we have to bring it up. Following a long line of shows of cute girls doing cute things, this time that cute thing is hockey, and that's literally all I need to know about it in order to check it out. I have wanted a hockey anime for so long you don't even know. We've seen sports anime focusing on so many different types of sports and activities that I started to give up that we would ever see hockey represented at any point, considering, like, I don't know about the sport's actual popularity in Japan, and that would probably factor into whether or not we get an anime manga and then an adaptation. But apparently, it is popular enough for this project to get greenlit, so I'll take the wins where I can. I will say, of course, this is for me. There is no blaringly obvious addition to the staff, the cast, or anything ready, or anything really, that says it's going to be a standout. And I am aware, I'm perfectly aware, that the only reason that this is on my radar is because of hockey. My expectations with this are low, like with Banished Hero, but considering we really already know what the show is going to be like, because of the genre it's in, I think it's going to be pretty good. You know, unless it does something really funky, which would be unexpected. This is going to be a guilty pleasure, slice of life show for me to help me chill out and relax throughout the week, and that's all I needed to be, honestly. And with that brings us to the end of the video. There are a couple of other ones that have kind of pinged on my radar, but I don't have a really particular good reason to list them. I'll just show a clip from their trailers here to say that yes, no, I know they exist. I don't know. I'm waiting for first episodes. This is a problem that I have been seeing, or I've been having with myself, and looking at things in advance is we're starting to get less and less actual information. With more and more anime being made, you can't always look at the staff anymore because there's only so many staff that you actually recognize the names for. They are spread out and spread thin, and so many newcomers are trying to try their luck in various roles, and there are a lot of anime that are coming out that I don't know anything about. I barely know about the studios, I barely know about the staff, and for anime originals that don't even have a manga to fall back on, it's like, well, hey, trailer's pretty, but we've been burned by pretty trailers in the past, or at least I have. So there are limits to what we can predict moving forward. I don't think what will be great in any particular season is as obvious as it used to be. Komi-san, I think, is going to do fairly well, unless they just completely screw the pooch on the adaptation, which, you know, has happened. But beyond that, thank you for watching the video. Let me know down in the comments what you guys are going to be following this particular season. And a very special thank you to all of my patrons who make these videos possible. I love and appreciate all of you. You allow me to continue to do what I do. For that, I'm immensely thankful. Very special shoutouts go to patrons Omar Showman, Ryfin Bonaparte, City Yamako, Wago221, and Hector Montemayor for being especially awesome. And until next time, ladies, gentlemen, and others, watch more anime and stay frosty.